Coming up on The Returned.
I heard a voice say, "Your heart stopped. You're dead." I floated sideways out of myself. I could see 360 degrees around me. In front of me, this guy sitting there, and he says, "Are you ready to go?" I went, "No. My husband is going to be so sad." I rushed out to him and circled around him. He was in the waiting room, and I kind of hugged him. It still gets me. And then I thought about my kids. I thought, no, I can't do this.
Hi, and welcome to The Returned. The truth always follows you back. Hi, and welcome to The Returned, a place where we share near-death stories, out-of-body experiences, spiritual awakenings, signs from spirit, and the journeys of healers and lightworkers from around the world. Today on The Returned, we're sitting with Dar Schafer, who has experienced not just one, but 3 near-death experiences, reshaping everything she thought she knew about life and death. Dar, welcome to The Returned.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for
You're so
inviting me.
welcome. You're very welcome. Dar, before we step in to those experiences, I would love to ground ourselves in who you are and who you were before this happened. And what was your life like prior to the near-death experiences? And another question in there would be, did spirituality or religion play a role in any of that at that time?
Yeah, so I've always been able to see spirits since I was little. Saw them all the time. Saw them in my room at the age of 2. I remember screaming out, and my dad ran up to see what was going on because I saw spirits in my room. And I'm from a large family. There were 6 of us. Actually, there were 7. The first one passed away when he was 6 weeks old from that water on the brain, the hydrocephalus thing, like that. And so we had a large family, and it was kind of a disjointed family. Um, and my dad basically left my mom and took all 6 of us to his new life, and it was rough. It was a very rough upbringing. And so, yeah, we went to church a couple of times. Actually, I remember going to church one time, and the first time, and at a Methodist church, and because we had 6 kids, the minister after the service came up and asked my dad, "Are you sure you're at the right church? Shouldn't you be at the Catholic church?" And so I had a little bit of upbringing um, with, with church, and but pretty much not really. I really didn't have a whole lot
Okay.
of experience with it. Didn't quite understand all that before my first near-death experience, which was a big surprise to me. But we had moved to California, and I went to a high school out there and I was on the swim team. They had me join for the swim team. And I remember that was during uh, class time. And so it was like an hour and a half class. And I remember the coach telling us we could all dive, because we got done early, dive off the diving board, come on in, get cleaned up, and then go to your next class. Okay. So I was really shy, unlike my
Mhm.
sister, who was so outgoing. Um, and so I was the last person off the diving board. And I remember watching the last of the girls go in to get cleaned up. And so I dove off the diving board. And when I dove off, I I I didn't hit the water right, and my chin came up, and I had compressed my vertebrae, and the pain was incredible, and then it was gone, and then I saw this tunnel, which I didn't know what it was, that was beckoning me, and this most beautiful, beautiful music, and all these people were around the tunnel, and they were pulling me up with this beautiful song, getting me to the light.
Oh,
And then
wow.
just before I got to the light, there was a figure there with this bright light behind, with long hair and these white robes, and said, "No, you can't come in. It's too early. You need to go back." And as soon as he said that, the beautiful music turned to this wailing, and they reversed and was trying to pull me back out of the white light. And I fought and went to that light anyways. And when
Hmm.
I did, I got there, I could see people behind him, and he put his hands on my shoulder and he said, "No, you have to go back." And it was the most beautiful love I've ever felt in my life. And I was not loved where I was at, and I didn't want to go back. So
Mhm.
I argued with him. "No, I'm not going back." And he said, "Yes, you are. You're going back." And then he turned me around, and I looked at myself, and I could see myself at the bottom of the pool, kind of on kneeling with my hands up, looking straight into my own eyes. And I remember
Mm.
gasping. And then instantly I was back in myself. Now, I was paralyzed at that point and I couldn't kick anything, but I felt all these bubbles around me, and this bubbles picked me up and then moved me to the side of the pool and helped me get my arm around. I was starting to get feeling back in my arms and put my arm around, and then they disappeared. And then I had to wait for somebody to come get me.
Wow.
Oh, it was amazing. That was my
Oh.
first. Just
Who was the
stunning.
figure?
I felt like it was either God or it was Jesus. It was one of the
Mhm.
two. But the
Mhm.
love, I've never felt that kind
Mm.
of love before in my life. Ever, ever.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
right?
And I remember that so clearly. I was 16 years old and I still remember that. It was amazing. So anyways, like I did get pulled out and started getting feeling back in my body. And so because I had compressed my vertebrae, it had stopped me from breathing. So no water got in my lungs. I mean, it was a miracle. I should have drowned. I mean, I should have gone onto that light, but that snap stopped me from breathing any water in my lungs. And I still, to
Mhm.
this day, I've gone through this. I can't tell you how many times. How how did I get to the side of that Olympic-sized pool? I don't know.
It absolutely sounds amazing. Like the
Yeah.
bubbles. For you to even know, like, have an inkling that the bubbles were helping, that was something making it do that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so
Yeah, that was a miracle. It was
Mhm.
very cool, but, afterwards, couldn't figure out. I didn't know about near-death experiences. I didn't know what I experienced. It was baffling to me. And then it wasn't until a couple of years later, I was working at a company in California, and I had this party at this apartment that I had rented with another girlfriend. We had this big party and invited all these people from the office. And then I get this knock on the door during the party, and this guy holds up a piece of paper, and it was the map to the house and all the information to the house for this party. And he goes, "Is this the party I'm supposed to be going to?" And he had another person next to him, which I didn't know who that person was. I said, "Yeah, come on in." So we got to talking, and later that evening, he got my phone number, and I thought, okay, that was kind of interesting. And a couple days later, he called me and said, would I be interested in going to see a lecture in Los Angeles. And I thought, well, I've never done that before. I was like 18 years old. Nope, never done that before in LA. Yeah, why not? So he came to pick me up and he took me to the lecture. And it ended up being Elizabeth Kruger Ross, who wrote, oh, she researched death and dying, wrote books and all that. And I remember sitting there stunned. She was telling my story, what I saw. I couldn't
Mhm.
believe it. So then
Mhm.
on the way home, he and I were talking and told him about what happened. And he told me that he'd had a dream that he was getting an invite for a party and he needed to go to the door and knock. And in his dream, he held up that piece of paper and that he was supposed to take me somewhere. So I thought that was pretty cool. So he dropped me
Wow.
off. And about a week later, I thought I need to know more about this because this guy apparently knew all about this. And
Mhm.
he worked at my company, so I thought, until I went to go find him. And he didn't exist. So I don't know who the guy was. He did not exist. I went to the warehouse where he said he worked and nobody knew him. Nobody knew him.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that put me on a pretty cool path, but I still am baffled about how all that came to be.
Sounds like a messenger.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did say to me in the car, he says, I delivered what I was supposed to do, is what he said to me as he dropped me off. And then he
And what
disappeared.
did that do for you?
Wow. Um, I started really diving into spirituality, not really
Mhm.
religion, but spirituality. And I
Mhm.
knew there was a God.
Mhm.
And I started researching, as much as I could back then, because we didn't have internet or anything like that. But I bought books and read and, but I do remember when I would say something to somebody about it, they all looked at me like I was nuts. Because that's, kind of how it was back then. No, you're not supposed to be talking about that kind of stuff. But I knew it was real. And nobody could convince me that it wasn't real.
Mhm. No, you knew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's no words, actually. There's no words for both
Hmm.
of those experiences. Mm.
Yeah.
So, why don't you take us back into your second NDE and how old were you with that one?
Let's see. Trying to remember how old I was. It was back in 2016, I believe. I'm an old lady, so I don't want to tell you my age. But I was having all kind of heart problems, um,
Mm.
and it was all electrical, and
Oh.
which I think
Mhm.
is because of my healing abilities. So I had no blockages anywhere, nothing. It was all electrical. So I kept I had a couple of ablations to try to stop all this crazy electrical paths that were going through my heart. Well, it got to where it was pretty unbearable and I needed to do something because my heart rate would stay around 125 to 130 all the time. And I was out of breath and I couldn't go outside or anything. So the doctor decided he was going to do an ablation and he was going to ablate a part of the heart and then put a pacemaker in.
Mhm.
So I went ahead and signed up for that, thinking, I need my life back. So during the surgery, I remember they put me under general anesthetic. And um, when he got to that part where he killed off that part of the electrical nodes, which was called the SA node, I went into cardiac arrest for 11 minutes. I have all the records of that too, 11 minutes. But I remember just before I completely lost whatever, I mean, I should have been unconscious anyways, but I heard one of the nurses, actually, I heard all this commotion and this nurse yelling in my ear, don't you do this. Don't you go. You stay with me. Listen to my voice. Listen to me. Don't go. But I did. And as I was laying there, I thought, Okay, so you've heard of people that have woken up during general surgery
Mm,
inside and they're paralyzed and they can't
mhm,
move and they feel all of the surgery. And he had talked about maybe having to open up a little bit of my chest to get in there to do it. So I'm laying there thinking, oh my gosh, I'm awake. And I was trying to move my hands, whatever I could to let him know that I'm awake. Don't do this to me. And then I heard a voice say, your heart stopped. You're dead. And I kind of went, what? Can't be. No, your heart stopped. You're dead. And so then I floated sideways out of myself. And then I kind of got upright and I was not really a body. I was like this energy thing. And I could see 360 degrees around me. And in front of me, it was dark. And I could see this guy sitting there kind of with a hoodie on. And he got up and looked at me and he says, are you ready to go? And I went, what? No, I'm not. This can't be happening. And then at the same time, I thought, oh my gosh, my husband is going to be so sad. It's going to probably make me cry.
mhm.
So
Mm, I'm
I
sorry.
rushed
Mm,
out to him and circled around him. He was looking at in the waiting room with his phone, and I kind of hugged him. Sorry,
mm. Oh,
still
that's
gets me.
okay. Yeah,
Um,
that's okay. Mhm.
and
Yeah, take your time.
then I thought about my kids. I
Mhm.
thought, no, I can't do this. I can't. And I came back to my body, and then I looked again. And I could see the doctor coming in, talking to my husband, and I think what happened was I could see the future too. He collapsed,
Mm.
and told this figure, no, I have to get back in my body. And how do I do that? And so I'm looking down at myself. I could see myself on the table. I'm looking down at myself. And I said, how do I do this? And this person said, oh, you'll figure it out. So I stood there for a while looking at myself like, how in the world am I going to get back in my body? And the next thing I knew, I leaned back and then slowly came back into my body. And then the lights went out. And then I woke up in recovery. And what the doctor said was, when he came out to talk to my husband, was that he says she went into cardiac arrest, and then of course he collapsed. And he says, no, 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 we got her back with lots of,
Mhm.
like, what do you call that? When they jumpstart your heart. I had a couple of those and a bunch of medicine and stuff trying to get me going. It took him 11 minutes, but he said, like, we got her back. He said, but the weirdest thing happened. He said, because he was in there and the machines that he had, they could monitor all the electrical stuff going on in my heart. He said, it looked like the heart was doing all this, um, electrical stuff shooting off everywhere. Like something was trying to restart the heart on
Oh,
its own.
wow.
He says, I've never in all the years that I've done this, have I ever experienced this. He was dumbfounded. But I came back, wasn't ready to go. Was
Who
not
was
ready to
that
go.
in the hoodie, do you think?
I don't know. I'm trying to,
Was it a
I've
nice, like
tried.
a positive,
Oh yeah, it was
feeling?
positive.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like he was a messenger and he was like sitting there waiting for me. And it's almost like he knew I wasn't going to go. And, but he was called upon to be there to move me on. And I didn't see the white light to go to the tunnel because I wasn't going to go. I needed to stay. I needed to stay for my husband. I needed to stay for my kids. I just wasn't ready to go.
So, what comes to mind when I hear that is I've heard somewhere before that us as souls, before we incarnate, we make some kind of plan, maybe a
Hmm.
pre-birth plan. And apparently in that plan, we have exit points. And I don't know honestly if this is true, but it just your story up until now has reminded me of that again because that could have been an exit point. The first one could have been an exit point, but they're not letting you go. But
Right,
this one was a true exit point where if you
right.
had a said, "Yes, I'm going," you probably would have gone.
I would have gone. Yeah, I think I would have
Yeah.
because what was weird is I was
Yeah.
okay with going because I knew the love. I knew the light.
So cool.
I knew what I was gonna experience. I knew it was gonna be fantastic, but I just didn't feel like it was my time, that I wasn't done on Earth. I just wasn't done. And, I'd already been, working on, my healing abilities and all that. I just didn't feel like it was time to go yet, and I needed to do more, and I couldn't figure out what the more was, but I just wasn't ready to go.
Mhm. That was a sad one.
Yeah,
That
sorry.
must have been hard. No, that
Yeah.
must have been really hard for you to see. Um, I don't know what that would be like. I haven't had anything like that before. Um, while that was happening, and just while we're on topic of it, um, did you have any feelings of sadness, or was it panic or pain, or did you
It was
really
definitely
know what was?
sadness. It
Yeah, there
was
was
a mixture of
sadness.
sadness and acceptance. It's kinda weird.
Mhm.
Had 0 pain, no pain at
Okay.
all. So I knew that I was going to a place I was not gonna have any pain, just like I did with the first one.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it was such sadness. But acceptance. It was really weird. I don't even know how to describe that, but I knew, I would be okay. I just didn't think my family was gonna be okay.
I think it was okay to not take that exit, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
for some reason, they kept showing you I say they, and I don't I just say that, but you were shown 2 times now. We haven't got to the 3rd, but 2 times, 2 NDEs, and you've grown from every single one of them,
Every
I
one of
take
them.
it. Mhm,
I am so spiritual. I know that there is an afterlife. I know that
mhm,
there's a God. There's an I am. It
yeah,
doesn't matter what religion you're in.
mhm,
It's the
mhm,
one I am. I know
that's
it. And I've seen it and I know it and I've felt it and I've felt the love. It was so unconditional. I know it. It's amazing. It is
How
amazing.
did how did you integrate after that one back in to your life? That must have been like, what did your family think? Or maybe did you even tell them?
Oh yeah, I did not tell my kids, but I did tell my husband, and he already knows that I can do all this stuff, and he knows about my
Mhm,
past, and he knows that I can see, people that have passed on. He knows that I have premonitions that do happen.
mhm.
I've had some with him. I've saved his life a couple times
Oh.
with dark spirits.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm,
and I've saved a lot of people from the dark side to bring them back to the light. And so he knew that what I experienced was real. He did. Of course, my doctor was like freaking out, like, whoa, okay. Because you know how doctors are scientists and, that they
mm.
don't want to believe in most of that
No.
stuff. Yeah. But he
I had
knew.
mine, and I had a heart issue too that never happened again. Electrical. Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Out of the blue. It just, sounds very much like what you were going through. Um, and they had no idea why. It just was they had to cardiovert me, but they had to stop my heart first. So they gave me a medicine or an anesthetic, then they were giving me some type of medicine to stop the heart, and then they would be cardioversioning me back. And they had a hard time, and in that time, I felt nothing. I was like, "Woo."
I know.
You don't feel it. I didn't feel anything.
Mhm.
However, I didn't have, such an intricate, near-death experience as you, but I went to a black space with, and met by Jesus, and I remember thinking, "Why would he come for me?" You know, because I wasn't religious, and I just couldn't get over him coming for me. Like, it blew my mind. Yeah, it's very interesting, and it
Yeah.
changed me forever.
Mhm. It's unconditional love.
Oh, I I didn't think about anybody, and I didn't think about no one, only him. It was very
Mhm.
strange. It wasn't strange while I was in it. It was strange after that. I was like, "Wow, I didn't think of anybody else but him." And it was like I remembered him. It's like this real strong remembering,
Mhm.
you know? It was very interesting. I just
Yeah.
love when I hear these stories. It's just tell me, Dar, what is it all for?
Um, I think it's our purpose to get word out that there's more to life than what people are doing now. I think we're kind of
Mhm,
bunch of lost souls,
mhm.
and I think it's up
Stuck on
to
a hamster
us.
wheel.
Yes, and they've forgotten how to love. They've forgotten how to be kind to others.
Yeah.
It's not a good world we're in right now.
Mm.
There's not. I mean, I think I read somewhere where I can't remember where I read this at, but they were saying that there's up to like 800 near death experiences a day. And I just wonder if
Wow.
we're being approached now to show that there is, and there's things you need to do on earth. You need to be kind. You need to be loving. You need to be caring, instead of this selfishness, me thing. I think it's
Mm.
a turning point
Oh,
in life in the world right now that we need to wake up and see there's more to life. There's a beauty.
there's so much more.
Yeah. And I think we go through all this stuff to, um, for perfection, maybe, or life, not really, yeah, probably life lessons too, but to make ourselves more perfect to the white light. We have these experiences to do that, I think. I don't know. It sounds kind of weird, but yeah, I think that's our purpose. And we need to bring that forward, you know.
Lately, I've been really feeling that near death experiences seem to me to be an activation
Mhm.
or a remembering. It's like I keep saying this because it just keeps ringing true with me that we keep leaving these spiritual breadcrumbs for us in case we might veer off and then something happens or we get these like me since I was 3 I was seeing spirits too.
Mhm. It's pretty
But why
amazing.
can't I remember my birthday? How
It's
can
because
I
your spirits
remember?
it's because it's
Mm,
real. That's that
mm,
your experiences, like mine, and like all near
mhm.
death experiences and meeting, and seeing spirits because it's real. It's
I
real and it's
think
vivid and it's
that's right.
not a dream. It's
That's
not a
no,
dream.
it's so not a dream. I it's so not a dream. And, yeah, that's your story just reminds me. And then I just think it took me a long time to get to where I am now. And how long did it take you to start telling your story?
Well, I started doing it before I had the second, um, experience,
Mhm.
but, when you start telling people these things, they think you're nuts, and they think well,
Yep.
with me, because I could see, people that had passed on,
Mhm.
and I would tell them things that I had no knowledge of because their spiritual, loved ones were telling me things to prove to this person that this is real and they have a message for them. And so, I mean, there was a few times where people actually kind of said, "Oh, is she a witch?" No, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a very spiritual person, and I don't have any control over this. When somebody from the spiritual
Mhm.
side comes and contacts me, they have a message that they want to give to somebody, and they're
Mhm.
desperate to give that message to that person. They
Right.
really are. And, so I don't know. And as I marched through all these near death experiences, it got stronger and stronger and stronger. It really did. And then I realized that I have this healing ability where, I could see illnesses. I could
Mhm.
scan bodies and tell where they're injured or where their past injuries were. And, at first it was kind of like you know, like a, uh, like a show for people. Oh, tell me this, tell me that, prove this, prove that. And then I was 100% accurate and they started going, whoa, this is weird. But yeah, I could tell where illnesses were. And then it kind of graduated after the second near death experience as laying my hands on someone and healing them. Not all of them. I'm told when I can heal and when I can't. The ones I can't
Oh.
are pretty upsetting. But the ones that I can, I do. And I just, I do what they say. I do what the angels say. I do what God says. I do what Jesus says, the Holy Spirit, all that. I do what they ask. I'm a servant.
I do the same. That's when, I know that. I can empathize with that because I, out of the blue, got a message to do this podcast. I even was given the name, you know?
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, and I was because I remember I was up in the middle of the night, always comes in the middle of the night,
Hmm.
these voices, like some of them feminine on this side. I'm not sure what they are on this side, but it comes on my right. I can't really decipher the voice being a man or a woman. And then up top, I always know that that is source God because how it comes in powerful and strong. Because I was at one point in the beginning, I was like, I don't think I can do this podcast thing, right? And I was
Hmm.
thinking this only in my head. I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just thinking, I don't know if I can do this and that. It's stressing me out, this and that. And all of a sudden, it came in like a vibration. Like I always go like this, like it came in like a
Hmm.
wave. That's what it reminded me of. And it came directly over top of me and it said, "You will not stop. You will keep going."
Yeah, you
And
have to get the word out.
yeah, so I just grabbed my blanket and I thought, "Oh shit. Okay." Just gra I just I just rolled over and said, "Okay," like a little kid and went back to sleep, didn't think about it again, and I just kept going. And I don't know, it was amazing. It was amazing, but the most amazing part of it was it was the first time that I thought, "Hey, our thoughts aren't ours alone."
Correct. That's right.
So that someone is hearing me when I was
Hmm.
only thinking in my head. So that taught me something, and that taught me you better be careful what you're saying or even thinking, right?
Hmm. Well,
So,
everything's done on the spirit side. It's telepathically. You are not speaking. You are not.
mhm,
It's thoughts.
mhm.
It's as clear as day.
Oh
It's
man,
thoughts. Yeah.
yeah, I
And then
know.
usually when sometimes I get warnings before things happen, and I have to tell
Mhm,
somebody if they're ill. I got to figure out. Usually, I have 3 days to figure out who it is. 3 days, and I'm in a panic, like, oh my gosh, who could it be? Then I start calling my friends to
oh, I
see what their lives are, what's going on. I've got this message. I don't know who it belongs to. Yeah, and then that third day, boom, I get the answer. Yeah, it could be a burden and a blessing at the same time.
yeah, that's right.
It's exactly
Will
that.
you will you walk us through your 3rd NDE? Mhm.
So the 3rd one, uh, about a year ago, I had gotten I had all these surgeries, and before I could do that, I had to get a, echocardiogram to see if
Mhm.
my heart was strong enough to do. I had knee replacement in 24, knee replacement, and both hips done in 2024. And then in December of 2024, I found out that my pacemaker was recalled and it was actually killing people. So I had to have emergency surgery in January of 25. So the echocardiogram I got in that March of 2024 showed that I had uh, severe, getting severe heart failure. My mitral valve was ripping apart, and I wasn't getting oxygen. I wasn't getting blood to my body. It was really bad. But this doctor, this cardiologist, went ahead and said, "Okay, go ahead and take it." He never told me I had a problem. So, I thought, I don't like this guy. I'm going to find another guy. So I did. And thank God I
Mhm.
did, because I found out when I had that next cardiogram done in May, this past May, that it was so severe. I was only getting like 30% of blood recirculating. It was kept backwashing. And my heart was so enlarged. It was, the worst kind of heart failure you can have. So I ended up having to have open heart surgery. And then my fear was, and that's why I wrote the book, because I thought I'm not going to survive this. Third time's a charm. I've already been, kicked, I've already kicked to the curb, the near death experience, going to, to the light and all that. Third time probably isn't going to be going to my favor. And I'm going to go ahead and go on. So I wrote that book for my grandson. I wanted him to know me. I wanted to know all my experiences. And then I had the surgery in May. And when they do the surgery, they obviously crack open your chest and they put you on a heart lung machine and they stop your heart and your lungs. This is another emotional thing because I remember, so I had been working with this young lady, Tennille, and with her healing and how to do it and all that. And I had gotten a hold of her the week before and I said, "Okay, this is the date. Could you kind of check in on me? I may have to come get you to come help me." And so she was ready. And then she kind of forgot about it. I came out of my body and I'm standing there overlooking myself with this white light that was just roaring above me from me up. It was so
Wow.
loud, I couldn't believe it. And I remember putting my hands up and I could see the light come through my fingers. And it was just fascinating. I'm like, oh, wow, this is incredible. This is incredible. And then I looked at the corner of the operating room and I could see her looking down at me. And so I went up to her and she saw me in my angelic self, my spirit self. And this is in the book too, but I had her come over and look and I was wide open. She saw everything wide open in my heart. And there was there's a main artery that comes across the heart that when they have to cut into the heart, they have to unattach it and
Mhm.
move it to the side. And the surgeon was having problems with it. And so I brought her over and we laid hands on the surgeon and she laid hands on me and wrapped me with white light. And the whole room was filled with angels. Yes. And they were cheering me on and clapping and smiling. And then I came back in myself. And then she remembers um, when she came back because she was meditating to do, I taught her how to do all this stuff. She was so overwhelmed at what she saw and how powerful I am and was with the white light and what she was able to do and everything that I taught her that she could help me. So she helped me get back into myself. And pretty grateful. She was a good
Wow.
student.
Wow.
Sorry, this is all emotional.
No. Don't be
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I it was she couldn't believe how many angels were surrounding that operating table, and I could feel it, and I could see it, and I saw her, and then the joy that these angels felt that I was being healed. It was amazing. And then I remember when I woke up, uh, in the, in ICU. I was there for like 8 days, but, but people wonder when they pray, does it really help? That room, every time I could barely open my eyes, was full of white light. She had wrapped me. I had taught her how to wrap me in the white light. That whole room was full of this white, wispy light, and I'm not imagining it. I saw it. It was beautiful. The angels were there. People were praying. It was amazing. It was amazing. And what that I survived it, and my chances were very high not surviving this surgery, but I survived it. Again, I was shocked. Third time, could this be it? I just didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. And that's why I finished the book. And I know I don't want any more, no more. Yeah, it was scary.
I have to ask, why do you think you've had these NDEs?
I think it's because I have such a strong gift, and the spirits and the angels and God. I mean, I talk to them. I mean, I've pissed them off before, and you don't ever want to piss off an angel because I've done that before and gotten very sick. And oh yeah, um, because I've changed things halfway through. But I think because of my thought process and the things that I've been able to do and the people that I've healed, that they want me to continue. They want me to continue on my path. And I also think after that third near death experience that I'm supposed to teach others to do
Okay.
this. And that's what I want to do. I really want to teach people how to
Mhm.
do this and how to carry this forward and to bring that love and to bring that white light. 'Cause it's powerful. It is so powerful. And no, you're not going to be able to save everybody. There's been a few, like my sister, I couldn't save her. And they actually told me that no, it's too late, which I was mad. Actually, after that, I was mad for a little while and quit doing it, for almost a year, and then started getting back into it again. But sometimes you're not supposed to do that,
Mhm.
and when it's their time, it's their time. Yeah, and she was my Irish twin. She and I were the same age for 3 days every year. She
Oh
was my
my
bud.
goodness.
Yeah,
Ah.
we're very close. But yeah, I want to help
If
those that I can.
and I think you are and going to continue doing so.
Hmm.
You're too powerful not to.
Hmm. I feel that. I
Mm.
really do.
So do I.
That's
Mhm.
great. Yeah, and I think others do too. Yeah, I think others know it too. Yeah.
If I was to ask you, where is the other side? Where is heaven? Where is the afterlife? What would you say?
It's kind of a mixed, uh, feeling because, with my first near-death experience, I actually faced myself under the water.
Mhm.
I think it's on Earth, and it's the whole universe too, but I think it's also still here on Earth. It's almost like a parallel universe. It really is. I mean, from things that I've seen them here on Earth too. And some of the experiences like, the guy that took me to that Elizabeth Kruger Ross, I feel like he was definitely a messenger and he was listening
Oh,
to whatever, but it's, it's not just in the heavens above. Yes, it's up in the stars, it's up in the universe. It definitely big time there, but it's on Earth too, I think.
mhm.
It's like a parallel thing and they're watching you and they're standing next to you. Sometimes I can feel the angels next to me. And that's why you feel spirits next to you because they're
Mhm.
walking life with you. They are. and sometimes they can peek in, sometimes not. Um, yeah, and I think you're gonna eventually see your mom more. She's got some
I
stuff
just
to
had
do.
something flash right here beside my face. Yeah.
Yeah,
She does got healing, I think.
yeah, yeah, and that I was hoping to see some kind of a reaction like that, that to show for her to show you that she's there. Just give her a little bit of time, and
Mhm.
she is gonna be looking in on you, I promise. But she's gotta get
Yeah.
her affairs in order up there. She's gotta learn the ropes and all that stuff. It's kinda weird. 'Cause
You
it's
know, I don't I felt her. I did feel her. It feels like emerging. I always say that it's emerging, but I was sitting in here because I always sit in here with all my candles and,
mhm.
when I'm not on the computer even. And I felt, I heard first something. And then I kind of just turned my head to the side and she felt cool. This is the first time I felt someone merge with me that I felt a coolness. I've had it happen before, but it hasn't felt cold. This one, it's like the vibration went from all the way in it's like she came in from the back and was like went into me. That's what it felt like, and it was like pure vibration. So I've had that before, and so I recognize the feeling, and so and I also recognize because it feels kind of like love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it
Oh,
brings you
yeah.
to tears immediately.
Mhm.
It's such a different feeling, and yeah, I was happy. I felt really much better the next day. I did.
Good.
Yeah, 'cause I'm missing her. Mhm.
Yeah, and she knows that, but
Unfortunate.
she'll
Mhm.
keep checking in on you, but to reach you, she's gotta get a little bit more strength where she's at. She's learning the ropes. So you gotta give her a little bit of patience there, and when she can, she will definitely come visit. Because we Native Americans, we're very spiritual. We get it.
Mhm.
We get
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. I can
It's hard to
absolutely
explain that to
attest to that.
people, but we do. We do
Mhm.
because we
I'm
feel
very drawn to
earth.
anything indigenous,
Yes.
extremely. Like, if I hear drums or flute, like, it just makes my whole body vibrate.
Mhm. Me too. I mean, it just you feel it
Mhm.
in your soul. You're
Mhm.
feeling your ancestors, and, sometimes, I'll call upon my ancestors to fill me with their love, and give me guidance, and what do I need to do and all that, and you can feel them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
So, after all of that, all those experiences, do you fear death?
No, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't, but, I'm just not ready to go yet. I've got a few
Mhm.
more things to do, but if it comes, I'm not gonna be disappointed because of what I felt,
Mhm.
the love. It's like going home.
Mhm.
It's just, I remember
Mhm.
fighting that first time. No, I'm not. The most incredible love I've ever felt in my life. Incredible love. And the second one was like more me. It was me. It was all about me and my life that I had here with my family, and I couldn't leave them, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. And the third one, I'm surprised that they let me stay because it was a neat experience, but it was amazing.
That's when you say each time you didn't know how to get back in your body. I've heard this before.
It's weird.
And apparently, yeah, I can't remember what show I was watching, but it was a paramedic who was psychic and she could see. So she would see souls scrambling, trying to get back in their
Back in.
bodies. Oh,
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine seeing something like that. That would probably break my heart because they wanted back in. They didn't understand what had just happened.
Mhm.
and she said, like, she had to help them so they could move on. They were gone, but they didn't wanna be gone, and that's what she had said. They tried to get back, and that sound reminded me that because that's what you were doing, was you were
Mhm.
figuring out how to get back in.
Yeah, it was a strange feeling to look at yourself and go, "How am I supposed to do this?" You know, it was, and to see yourself, and you're looking at yourself, you're right there looking at yourself in a parallel world, looking at yourself, trying to figure it out.
And then no one else can see you.
Right, nobody could see me except for the
Mhm,
persons that were, the angels or the whatever that person
mhm.
was at that one time. They couldn't see me. Nobody could.
It must be some kind of, like, different frequency and dimension.
Mhm.
That's like, well, obviously, it was just, like, right there with you. The
Uh-oh.
angels were right there.
Uh-oh, we're losing each other. Somebody
"Oh,
doesn't want us to
sorry."
talk.
Oh, yeah, that's what I always get that. That always happens, right?
Yeah, somebody doesn't want us to talk. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it's weird.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. I couldn't imagine trying to get back in my body. I Did you have any fear of that? When you were trying to do that, did that bring up any fear for you?
Mm-mm. I had no fear,
Mm,
no
nothing.
fear at all. It was just, yeah, it was an acceptance. I was okay with everything. Right. How do I do this? Yeah, it was no fear, no pain, no fear. Mm-mm.
Do you think that the other side looks like the afterlife? Does it look like Earth? Are we going to a place like that, do you think? Or do you think that it's just like a realm of, I don't know, clouds and butterflies?
I don't think it's butterflies or
Mhm.
clouds. I know with my first near death experience, I could see people in the background, but it was like not really a city, but it was a space. Um, it didn't feel like Earth. Um, it was definitely a different realm, um, but it didn't feel like Earth to me. It was more vibrant. It was really bright and vibrant and peaceful, but it was like energy, like you could move from place to place and you didn't get caught up in um, the earthly things. It was like time was very odd, quick, fast, and it was pretty amazing. No, I don't think it's going to be like Earth. It's going to be grander.
Mhm. That's what I think too. If you had the chance to do your life all over again, Dar, all those experiences, would you?
I don't think I'd change anything. It's helped me grow to where I'm at now. It's helped me
Mhm.
grow and want to do things and want to help people. And I
Mhm.
guess like you could say I'm enlightened. I get it.
Mhm.
I see what's out there. I see people that need things. I mean, I could see um, the need, to help people and move them forward to that enlightenment, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Absolutely, it does. What a beautiful, beautiful stories. Beautiful stories. And there's so much more. There's so
Hmm.
much more.
Yeah. And I will say there's some good and evil. And when you start on this path, I remember my mom warning me to be careful because the evil comes forward and they can
Mhm.
fool you and you got to be careful. And there's some really evil stuff out there. So you got to stay on that right path and you got to protect yourself and protect everybody around you. And you got to stay with that white light and not be deceived. And yeah, I've experienced some pretty scary things. So was my
Oh,
husband, um, my kids. Hmm.
yeah, I don't want that. I mean, I think I have had a few things that were scary. Like I woke up one evening, and something was standing beside my bed. It was cloaked in black. And when I opened my eyes and looked, I couldn't see a face or anything, but I could see this. And I say it was cloaked because that's kind of what it was like to me.
Mhm.
And when it saw me notice it, it moved forward towards me. And I went flying backwards, all, like walking backwards on my hands in bed over my husband, screaming because I
You
didn't
sound
know
like
what it
me.
was. Yeah, I didn't know what it
That's
was.
happened. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was just like, "What?" I said, "Don't you see it?" He goes he grabs his phone flashlight, he's like, "Nothing's there." I said, "It's right there." Like, I was, like, literally losing my mind, but I did end
Mhm.
up finding out that it was called something like a seraphim.
Yes.
Mhm, and
Yeah.
they cloak because they're so bright.
Yes. Yeah. But sometimes you get the evil thing. I remember my,
Mhm,
husband, so, uh, and you can see this in my book too, but one of my girlfriends had passed away. She was one that I had 3 days to find out who was, gonna be very ill and was gonna pass away within 5 weeks. And then I had, 3 days to figure out who it was, and I needed to be there for this person. And, this thing walked into the bedroom, and it was half man, half animal with horns, and it scared me so bad. It was so evil that, I was astounded, and, so she ended up passing away after 5 weeks. I did sit with her and helped her through the death process and all that stuff, and I feel like I helped her quite a bit. So we, decided to she didn't leave any money for her kids because she was young, and so we decided to take her house and fix it up and sell it so the kids could have some kind of money for college or whatever.
mhm.
Well, my husband fell off the roof, 9 feet off the roof,
Mhm.
hit his head, broke his collarbone, all this stuff. So we finally got him home, woke up, and I turned around, and there was this thing over the top of him, and I called him the raggedy dude. He was so
Mhm.
evil looking down at him, to take him, to suck his life out and take him. And I
Oh,
got up and I grabbed its arm, and it felt human to me, and it was kind of fighting me. And then its head went into the headboard, part of it, and then it came back out. And it kept fighting me. And finally, it realized that I'm sitting there looking at it with my hand on it, and it turned and looked at me sideways, and it got this frightful look on itself, and it kind of shriveled up and went out, the side of the window, and behind it were these three entities with that same wailing that I heard in my first near death experience when, God said I had to go back. This wailing followed it out. Well, when he finally, and I was like screaming, and he woke up and he could see the three orbs as they went out the window. So sometimes he gets to see it, not always, but yeah, yeah.
wow.
I feel sorry for our spouses.
Mm.
Yeah, because they're trying to stop you from doing your good, the goodness in you. They're trying to stop you. So you got to protect yourself. Yeah. So I went to one time I went to a neurological doctor, and because I was having some kind of nerve pain or something like that. So he was testing me. So he had me do, they do this psychological test on you, and I aced it. He was like, "Well, you're a really different person." So then he did this thing where he tested my brain waves, and my theta waves were like from 1 to 10 were 12 because I was so lucid. And he said he's never seen that before either. So I kind of looked it up, and it has to do with how we are, how we're wired, and how we can see things and the spirituality and stuff like that. He said, "You were just off the chart." He goes, "My gosh, there ain't nothing wrong with you. You're off the charts here. This is amazing."
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Isn't that
yeah. So you're
something?
using your theta waves, I guess. That's how you
Yeah, I
connect
think so.
to a higher being.
Absolutely. And staying in gratitude and bringing that love in, I
Hmm.
can really feel that love when
Hmm.
I'm really staying in gratitude. Like, it's hard to stay in gratitude all the time, but I try to.
Hmm.
I just try to be
Yeah.
thankful for everything, you know?
Everything. Yes, and when you're
Mhm.
not, you go, "Oh, wake up.
Yeah,
Get back in that
yeah.
mode again." Yeah.
Like, every time I hear someone complain, I start to be I do gratitude right away. Like, that I've just now starting to train myself, and if I forget, I'm like, "Oh, geez, I forgot to do my gratitude today." And then
Mhm.
I try to do it because I feel that it's really important. Like, I
Mhm.
feel every time I feel like I'm vibrating. It's interesting. I love the feeling, so I do try that. It doesn't work all the time,
Right.
but it works more than it doesn't, so
Mhm.
take a little bit of this and I take a little bit of that. But, oh my god, I could go on forever. We really gotta
I
talk.
know, right?
Outside of here, oh my goodness, I don't even feel like I was doing a podcast. I literally forgot. I wanted to
Oh, this is
just talk.
amazing.
It was
Right.
just feel a connection with you. It's nice.
Mhm.
Thank you. But
Yeah,
Dar, for
thank you.
those who feel called to learn from you, can you share if you have services offerings? And I know you have your book. And so, where can people find those things? What are they? And where can they find you?
Yeah, so I have a website called, healingwhitelight.com, and I have it set up after wrote this book. I've kinda held off until I've healed from my open heart surgery. So probably the next month, I'm going to really open that up and start taking people. You can contact me through that. And
Okay.
I'm actually going to write another book on how to actually do it because
Cool.
I don't feel like you should charge for this. I don't feel comfortable, making money off of, my white light. I don't know. I'm still doing all that stuff, but I want to help people. And I think there's a lot of people out there that could do this that are strong and are spiritual and have the capabilities. So I'm going to start doing, yeah. So I'm going to start doing, probably going to do some online classes for people, and I'm going to write this other book ec- on the exact steps on how to do it. And so I just started that book because I want, I want this to get out there. I want a whole bunch of people. Can you imagine what our society would be like if there were a bunch of us out there? How wonderful it would be.
I
The
really think
enlightenment.
there is. There is a lot of people.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? Do you think humanity's waking up
Yes.
spiritually? Yeah.
Yes. Big time. I really feel that. I really feel
Hmm.
that. And that's why I think all this timing, these podcasts that are coming out that, and people are starting to talk about it because they're starting to feel a difference. They have to be feeling some kind of a spiritual difference and wanting to learn more from that. I mean, I really feel like we're at the cusp of really opening
I
our
do too.
eyes.
I do too. I think that it was my time to use my voice. And if I'm honest, that every time I would try to talk before, had this really, not a lump, but my throat would really hurt. It would
Mhm,
tense up so badly, right? So that was one of the things when I started this, I'm like, "Oh my god, my throat," like, it was hurting. But when I started to talk and when I first told my story, it went away. And now it no longer is there anymore. It, like, literally was hurting, like, it almost felt like it was cramping. It was like my voice needed to be released or something,
mhm.
or my throat
It's
chakra even.
I was just getting ready to say your throat chakra. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I
It's
definitely,
very interesting what this work can do, and it's
mhm.
probably the most fulfilled I've felt in my entire life.
Me too. I mean, I do feel grateful that I've experienced this. I know it sounds strange. I'm not afraid of it. I wanna do more. I wanna stay in that light, that white light,
Mm.
if that makes sense. I want other people to experience it too.
Oh, I think they will, and I think you will continue being in that white light forever. I really
Mhm,
do. After here too, that's where you're returning to,
mhm. I
right?
think so too.
So the very last question I have for you, Dar,
Mhm.
is a returned signature question. So everyone returns with a truth. What truth did you return with that you think that everyone in humanity needs to know right now?
Um, oh, that there is the I am, there is God, there is life, there is healing, there is love. Um, it's just overwhelming. There's beauty, there's the experience. I want them to experience the same thing I do. I want them to hear, the sounds, the music, the brightness, all that. That is real. It's real, and there is life after death. There is, and to be okay about it. And when you lose a loved one, know that they're in a good place, and that God has He's it's an unconditional love. He takes everybody. You know, that I think when you judge, when you go through that judgment thing, you hear about the judgment thing, it's only you judging yourself. When you go to that light, you're not being judged. You're not. It's beautiful, and the energy, and um, I think that's overwhelmingly beautiful.
I think so too. Dar, you are one of my most amazingness guests. Like
Oh, thanks.
I've had such a nice time chatting with you.
Mhm.
This isn't my normal interview style, but I just felt so relaxed. Um, I feel like I'm vibing like really good right now. So
Yeah,
thank
me
you for
too.
that.
I
And
feel that
thank you
too.
for, right? It's just like I feel really happy. Like I just want to keep smiling.
Mhm.
It's been a
I know.
while since I
Good,
smiled like this.
good.
Um, but I want to thank you from my heart to yours. Um, to walk through 3 near-death experiences and come back willing to speak about what you saw, felt, takes so much courage and humility. Your
It does.
story right? Your story doesn't just describe the other side, it carries the feeling of it. That's what I get from you when I hear you speak. So,
Oh, that's
thank
great.
you for bringing your light and wisdom to the returned.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed this.
And to all that are watching, stories like this don't just tell us what happens when we die, they invite us to examine how we're living now. Maybe the real return isn't just from the other side. Maybe it's the return to awareness, to purpose, and to love. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay open, stay curious, and keep returning to the truth within you.